One of the things that I've learned a lot in the last 6 years I've been in business is that just because you're growing doesn't necessarily mean that you're putting more money in your pocket. And I think a lot of business owners get caught up with growing the firm, and they get caught up in the ego of growing the firm. The more bodies you have, the more powerful you feel, or the more larger you are in your marketplace. And what I've learned, and I think one of the good books that I've read is called Profit First, and someone recommended that to me. One of my lawyer friends in New York recommended this book. And the principle is that if you focus on growing the company and using the money you have in the company, you're not going to be very profitable. The business has a funny way of eating cash up. Whatever money's in that business account, the business can turn into a cash eating machine. So one of the principles of that book that I've learned and I've applied, which has been great and game changing for me, is that you need to make sure that you take your profit off every transaction you make in the business. What I mean transactions, for every sale you make or whatever settlement you have. In our business, we don't we make money when we settle cases or we get verdicts. So what I learned from that book is that it's important to take, when you bring in that money, to make sure you put a percentage of that into a separate account, and that's your profit account. And it's important that you don't spend that profit, you don't use that money to cover expenses. So when you have that separate money going into your profit account, that's your reward for your taking a risk and having a business, and that's money for your shareholders or partners that's taken out of the business before the business eats it up with expenses. So I think what I've learned was that you have to really, you want to grow the business, yes, it's important, but make sure you're paying yourself for all the risk and all the being a business owner. So you want to obviously be compensated as a business owner and for taking risk, but you have to make sure that that money doesn't get eaten up into the business. So I think one of the other things that I've realized in my entrepreneurial journey is that there's all this talk about reinvesting the money back into the business. And you hear that, oh yeah, you want to grow, you got to reinvest. Yes, that is true. But you have to be you also have to invest in yourself. It's okay to make sure you're rewarded and taking a percentage of your money from the business to make sure you're compensated very well. So I had to learn that. It took a few years to figure it out. Like, yes, reinvest back into the business, but make sure that you're also paying yourself very well for what you do. So it's a fine balance. And I think that when you make sure you take your profit first off the transaction, sales, settlements, whatever, you're going to be more efficient with growing your business. You're going to find ways to have a better budget and to just be really efficient with your hiring needs, your marketing needs. Because if you don't, and you just put that money back into the business, your business is going to eat it up. You're going to start reinvesting, chasing down profit when you can take your profit first and grow your business. So one of the biggest things I learned was take your profit first, make sure to pay yourself for all the risk you're taking in your business. So there's a lot of talk about, like I said, reinvesting all the profit back in and all the expenses. And you do want to reinvest, especially in the beginning couple years of your business. But now, after your business is more mature, it's time to scale back and reinvest in yourself while also growing the business and being more efficient about it.